Hi there, I'm Michael Giblin with fiddlershop.com, and this is the NS Design NXTa. Where do I begin? Dear marketing department at NS Designs, thank you for creating such a unique and interesting violin. I love it. However, have you considered a naming system that isn't so sleep-inducing? Perhaps you could use the Decibelinator or the Treble Crusher as considerations for your next product. Sincerely, Michael O'Giblin, fiddlershop.com, XOXOXO. Yes, once you get over the completely unmemorable name, you'll see this is a very beautiful, exciting electric violin to play. The NXTa is an upgrade from the previous versions and also from the Wave lineup, because not only is it a passive pickup, but it also has an active pickup mode, and also has more control on this toggle switch here, has a polarity switch for switching between pizzicato and arco mode. So I'll explain that and demonstrate it here in just a second. To get things started, since there isn't a scroll or pegs, you string the violin by threading the string through the scroll area and inserting it into the fine tuner clamp. It's actually a very simple system to insert the string into the fine tuner mechanism, which grabs it and tightens it or loosens it as traditional fine tuners do. On the underside, you will have to trim the excess string length unless you just don't want to. On the back is where we have our standard 1/4-inch jack for going into an amplifier or pedal board system. The chin rest and the shoulder rest are two other very unique features about the violin. You have to use the ones that are included. You can't use like a third-party shoulder rest because they just won't work together. What you do is you can insert the post into the chin rest, and it's very adjustable and customizable. You can change the angle here, there. What I like to do is just start with it kind of loose, and you can see there's lots of options. It's very adjustable. You can find where you like it and feel what feels comfortable, and then just tighten it up. There's two knobs that you tighten up by hand, and for me that's enough. You can also adjust. This material is kind of pliable. It's kind of like the Bond Musica shoulder rest, so you can, if it's digging into your chest a little bit too much, you can change the angle there. Now for me that's enough customization, but they do also make an adjustable chin rest that will swivel this way and that way. For me though, it is very expensive and I'm just not sure that it's worth it, but you can also look for that accessory also if you want more customization. So one of the big features of the NXTa is the passive and active output mode. When you're in passive mode, you just leave this plugged in. You can just go straight to a guitar amplifier or something, you'll be fine. But you do also have the option, if you pull that knob out, to be in active mode. And so what that means is that it has a preamp, but it doesn't have a battery that you have to like open this up and change all that stuff. What they include is this wall charger, and at the other end is the 1/4-inch jack. And so you just plug that in to charge it up. If you charge it for 60 seconds, that'll give you something like 16 hours of playing time. So that's great for if you're like maybe going straight into your computer, or you have an amplifier that doesn't have a preamp and you need that active preamp. That's a very useful thing to have. Again, if you're just going straight to an amplifier that has a preamp, like a guitar amp or something, you probably don't need it. You can just leave it in passive mode. The other difference between the NXTa and the Wave models is this extra switch here, and that changes between a pizzicato mode and arco mode. It has a very scientific explanation about changing the polarity and the ways that the strings vibrate. Personally, I don't think it's necessary, and I would just recommend leaving it in arco mode, but you probably don't believe me, so I'll show you. All right, so just like the wave, the two knobs you have are volume and tone, and the tone really just controls the high end, like everything on the E string, whether it's a little bit rounder or a little bit edgier, but it's very subtle. The difference though is the arco and pizzicato mode. I'm gonna start with it in arco mode. Everything sounds pretty nice. So I was using pizzicato, still in arco mode, but if I switch over to pizzicato mode, that's pretty good. But that sounds like garbage. So I don't think it's worth it if you're playing a piece like that where you're switching to have to remember to find it and switch over. And then if you forgot to change it, it'd be a mess. So I would just say, just leave it in arco mode. There. So that was the NS Design Treble Crusher. I mean, the NXTa. You can learn more about this violin and buy it by clicking right up here. We'd also love it if you subscribe to our channel so we can keep in touch. And if you'd like to learn more about Fiddler Shop in general and everything else we do, you can click on this funny video down here. As always, thanks so much for watching.